Let's say welcome to our live stream. Our live stream people have joined us. They get to join us early. That's a little gift for them. I don't know, good for them. They get to come in before anybody else. So live stream is here. This is a good time to meet your panelists. You guys ready to meet the panelists? You feel excited about that? Yeah. We're going to make this better than English class. That's our goal every day, unless you really like English class. I don't know. All right, let's stay focused. First person I'm going to bring to the stage, if you watch sci-fi, television, or film, this man has been in so much and continues to be very, very busy in that world. Incredible actor, Tahmoh Penikett. Give him a nice round of applause. Good jacket, good stroll, everything's great.
Where am I sitting?
Right here, brother. Yeah, I think that works for you. Okay. Next up, we have a singer and a songwriter. She has done so much great work, benevolent work. Her title was the Oprah of Afghanistan. It might still be. We'll find out. Mozhdah Jamalzadah. Let's give her a nice round of applause. I think I saw Oprah wearing a top just like that once.
Really?
No, I didn't.
Hi, everyone.
All right, next up, fashion icon, legend. I don't throw these words around loosely. They all apply. Please give her a nice welcome, Jeanne Beker. Thank you, Jeanne. Make yourself comfortable. Then we have a guy with a very interesting job. If you don't, go back and talk to your guidance counselor about this one. See if you can get hooked up with this kind of work. Tornado hunter, Greg Johnson. Let's give Greg a nice round of applause.
You guys are supposed to have a wind machine for me or something.
We failed you. We failed you on the wind. And finally, we say queen of R&B, but what I've learned is a phenomenal actor as well, really digging her chops into acting and theater. Everybody, Jully Black, give her a nice round of applause. Make yourself comfortable. Make yourself comfortable. Come on. All right.
Always getting so quiet at this point.
I know. How many people caught day 2 yesterday? Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the students are lying. I'm going to say that right away. I see. When you don't answer and then you go, I'm just out of sympathy, I'm going to say yes. I saw a little bit of that. I saw that. But yeah, you can go back. You can watch it online. You can listen to it on the radio. Those are different experiences. In fact, if you radio is all ears, and there's no distractions.
You gave us a little heck for yesterday, right?
Well, did I give you a little heck?
A little bit of heck.
I didn't give you a heck. Did I give you a heck?
Yeah, just, we were kind of talking over each other a little bit.
Yeah, we got in trouble.
We'll be better today.
I mean, that's...
We'll
you
try.
Came here high on mushrooms. What was I supposed to do, right? Not true. Live stream, not true. We're making that up.
Given the fact that we got maybe we should all have to put our hands up when we want to speak.
That works on radio for sure. Yeah. Everybody on radio going, why is everyone grunting? Are they shifting to a park safari or something? All right. That's good.
How much time do we have?
We have 1 minute, my friend. Good question. The answer came right as you asked it.
It's real quiet in here. I hear a pin drop in here.
Okay, today we'll get to breathe even more, Yeah. Oh, Greg, you got a lot of notes.
I got a lot of notes.
A lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Not that...
Look at that spread, eh?
Day 3 of CBC's Battle of the Books. We started with 5 titles. 2 have been eliminated. 3 are still in the running. Which one will be the next to go? We'll find out today. I'm your host, Ali Hassan, and this is Canada Reads.
This is Canada Reads, Canada's annual title fight.
Hello and welcome. It's day 3 of the Great Canadian Book Debate. Once again, all 5 panelists have returned to the show. That's always in doubt. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you, panelists. They are sitting around the table with me. Beginning on my left, Tahmoh Penikett. Hello, Tahmoh.
Hello.
Now, what book are you defending, Tahmoh?
I am defending American War by Omar Akkad.
Right. And next to Tahmoh, we have Mozhdah Jamalzadah. She was championing the novel The Boat People by Sharon, Bala, but it was eliminated on day 1. Sorry to bring up old memories, but
I know,
that's...
you keep bringing that up every
We just need to
episode.
lay
Like,
the
okay, I
foundation
get
of
it.
what is happening at this table. Hello, Mozhdah.
Hi, how are you doing, Adam?
I'm good, thank you. Across from me is Jeanne Beker. Hello, Jeanne.
Hi there.
Tell us what book you are defending.
I am championing
Even.
Forgiveness by Mark Sakamoto.
All right. And next to Jeanne is Greg Johnson. He was championing the memoir Precious Cargo by Craig Davidson, but it was eliminated yesterday. Hello, Greg.
Hey, how are you, Ali? I'm in the same boat. Sorry.
I know.
Slowly, all of us are going to be.
You're both people.
Except for like.
You're both people.
And on my right, Jully Black. Hello, Jully.
Hi,
Tell us about the book that you are defending or
I
championing.
am defending, advocating for The Marrow, Thieves by Cherie, Dimaline.
Okay, very good. Now, day 2, if you tuned in, it was lively. Canada Reads became Canada Weeps for a little while there. Anyway, very tissue box is here.
Okay.
It is here, if needed. Yesterday was definitely a spirited discussion, and when it was time to vote and eliminate our second title, here's what happened. Jeanne voted against the Marrow Thieves. Tahmoh and Mozhdah voted against Precious Cargo, and Greg and Jully voted against American War. And that meant, according to the Canada Reads rulebook, Jeanne, you had to be the tiebreaker, and you chose to eliminate Precious Cargo. Greg, how are you feeling about that today?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for Craig, Craig Davidson, the author. But I mean, I'm really thrilled I wasn't in Jeanne's position yesterday, because that was heartbreaking. I wouldn't have wanted to be in your position, and I could feel how upset you were about it. But I just want to take just a quick moment. First of all, I'm the first panelist on this show in 17 seasons from Saskatchewan, and so I hope that we continue that trend. Maybe next year we get a little bit more prairie flavor. I represented Precious Cargo this week. It may not have been the book with the heavy burden of war and some of the themes that the other books have, but I think that the topic, special needs kids, I think that is something that is very, very important, and then we need to keep the conversation going on that. So I want to take this opportunity to put my money where my mouth is. And I want to, this morning I purchased 25 copies of Precious Cargo, and I'm donating them to my daughter's high school. We heard her yesterday give a wonderful little pep talk for me. So Campbell Collegiate in Regina will get 25 copies. But I'm also, I also was deeply affected by The Marrow Thieves when I read it. And knowing that this is probably my last opportunity to sort of get some solo time on here, I'm going to kind of telegraph a little bit where my support's going to Marrow Thieves, because it was a book that I literally flipped a coin between Precious Cargo and Marrow Thieves, which I wanted to defend. The theme of Indigenous youth and being positioned as heroes in this book is something that we need to see more of in Canadian literature. I love the book and what it represents, and 2 years ago, La Loche, Saskatchewan was rocked by a terrible mass shooting where 2 teachers and 2 kids in the community were killed. that's a community that's struggling right now. And northern Indigenous communities all over Canada are struggling, right? And it's our responsibility, regardless of where you live or your background, it's our responsibility to help make change in those communities. I'm also purchasing 25 copies of the Marrow Thieves, this amazing book, to donate to the Laloche Community School and the Dene High School. So I'm not going to tell you how I'm voting today, but I will tell you where I will tell you where my support's going.
How about a big round of applause for Greg Johnson?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's great. All right, we have 3 books left. We are going to go around the table clockwise as always. We'll begin by playing the trailer for each of the books that we'll be discussing today. Tahmoh is on my left, so we will start with American War. Then we'll go to Forgiveness, which is being defended by Jeanne, who's across the table from me. And Jully, still on my right. We will end with the Marrow Thieves. Mozhdah and Greg, we will not be getting to you just yet because you're free agents, but be engaged, listen carefully. You still have a voice at the table, and importantly, you have a vote at the end of the show. All right, ready? Panelists,
Yeah.
let's get to it.
All right.
All right.
Okay, you got me emotional. Jeez.
Tahmoh, you're defending American War. Here's the trailer.
The American South, 2074. Oil outlawed. Louisiana underwater. Scorching heat and meager rations are all the future holds for those too proud or too poor to defect. A child born on the banks of the Mississippi Sea, Surratt's life would be defined by drought, drones, and war's simple slogan: if it had been you, you'd have done no different.
Tahmoh, how are you feeling today?
Good, but tired. I'm a little tired.
This week will drain people. Canada Reads can take a toll.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yesterday was, I think it was a good day. Everyone made fantastic points, with the exception of us talking over each other at times. But yeah, it gets a little exhausting.
Your book, it was a tiebreaker yesterday. Greg and Jully both voted against American War. It would appear that Greg might be a little bit tougher, but between Greg and Jully, how are you going to convince them to change their minds today?
I'm going to keep, I'm going to hear, one of the main things that I came into this with, and I think is important in society today, it's important for humanity, is that we have to listen. A lot of people aren't listening anymore, truly listening, hearing what you guys are saying. I want to listen to the points you're making, the things that don't work for you in the book, and I want to counter them. I want to try and answer them for you, and I want to try and sway you, because I believe in this book, and I think it's so important that we should read it. And that's really that's all I can do.
Okay, thank you, Tahmoh. Next up is Forgiveness. Jeanne, you're defending the memoir. Let's listen to the trailer.
When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, our west coast became a potential combat zone. Military authorities have determined all aliens and citizens of Japanese descent must be relocated.
Her, a victim of internment, with only a shack to call home. Him, a prisoner of war, captured by the Japanese in Hong Kong. Decades later, they share a grandson. A man who says life taught his grandparents a lesson they passed on to him. Forgiveness.
How are you today, Jeanne?
I'm not great. I had a sleepless night. I find that I'm incredibly personally invested in this, which is the worst thing that anyone should do. And everyone say, don't take it personally and just have fun with it. And, I've been on TV for a long time. Actually, 50 years ago, this year, I started my work on television at CBC. So this has come full circle for me. My gut's been wrenched a few times over the years by certain, projects and rides that I've been on. But this for me means too much, I think, unfortunately, maybe, or fortunately. I mean, I'll certainly, give it my all and trying to convince everybody that this is an important book. But there's a lot of, I think, my personal story involved in this book as well, because I'm the child of Holocaust survivors. My mother was born in the exact same year as Mark Sakamoto's mother was born, 1920. My parents survived the war, on the run, in Poland as Jews running from the Nazis, running through the forests, running. And that's why, I think of the Marrow Thieves, which is a gorgeous book for sure. But, why I have trouble maybe dealing with all that fear. My parents painted nothing but dark pictures for me as a child growing up, telling me firsthand about their war experiences. I hid under the bed because I didn't want to hear any more of those war stories. The darkness that I keep commenting on in your, again, brilliantly written book. But I have to say, and I say that to Tahmoh, who is defending American war. Yeah. But I do say, too, that, it is these stories that make us who we are. And it is these stories that we can glean so much from. And because this is a memoir, Mark Sakamoto's book tells the true story of two living, breathing people, one who is still very much living and breathing. We heard him on the show yesterday, Ralph McLean, who survived for 5 years in hell in a Japanese prisoner of war camp. I can't help, I'm too emotionally invested, what can I say? But I shall soldier on and try to make sense of it all.
Right. Well, emotional investment is nothing uncommon at the Canada Reads table. That happens to almost everybody who comes here. And on the flip side, your voting has been fairly unpredictable, right? It's been.
Well, I'm all
anybody
about.
studying Jeanne is not really. Yeah.
Darling, I'm all about show business. Remember, 50 years.
The
business
unpredictability
does
I'm
things to
talking
you.
about was that you voted against American War on day one, against the Marrow Thieves day two, and then when it was time to break the tie, Precious Cargo. But and your book, it bears mentioning, has not had any votes against it.
Well, yeah, happily so. But again, with Precious Cargo, a beautifully written book. I loved it. I loved the read. It made me laugh. It made me cry. It was sweet. I just don't think it had the gravitas of the other books that are at the table now.
Okay.
And I voted it off.
Okay. Thank you, Jeanne. It is time for the final book, still on the table. The YA novel, The Marrow Thieves. Jully, you are defending this title. Let's listen to the trailer.
Frenchie Machibahewe.
Frenchie is on the run.
Egoe oni ekago gawin gego endawa.
His fellow fugitives are his only family now.
Mama wichike wag wiga.
Together they fight for survival.
Oma chiba ewedanawa nishanabe.
Fleeing a world where indigenous people are hunted.
Gagwe no chichigadene. Eji obasi.
Wanted for their bone marrow and the promise it holds.
Eje.
The promise
Minoba wachike wad.
of dreams.
Jully, yesterday was an emotional day for you. This morning, as Greg read his sort of final plea or his goodbye to his book, that was an emotional moment for you. How are you feeling today?
Pretty emotional. Blessed to be a conduit. Waking up this morning and seeing on the news that Pope Francis decided not to apologize to Canadian Indigenous people for the residential schools, when in 2015 they apologized to the American Indigenous people. Like, this is real life. It's a show, and all the books are amazing, but I remember being youth that was seen and not heard. And my mom worked for $1.65 an hour here in Canada and made life for all her kids. And for me to be here and be able to represent a community that simply wants a conversation to happen. you know? It's a big deal for Canada, man. My mom chose Canada. And, you know, to know that it's Justin Trudeau trying to get this to happen for that simple apology, like even in relationships, sometimes an apology is all we need to start the forgiveness process. And so, though it's, you know, it's not directly my community, I believe we're citizens of the world. And I feel proud, like really, it's a proud moment to be able to be an amplified voice, where I thought it was about a Juno or a Grammy or an Oscar, or, you know, a Tony and a Gemini and all of these awards. Like this is history right here, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Thank you, Jully.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. The 3 remaining books are American War by Omar Akkad, the memoir Forgiveness by Mark Sakamoto, and The Marrow, Thieves by Cherie Dimaline. One of these books will be eliminated today, and one of them will win tomorrow. I'm Ali Hassan. This is Canada Reads on CBC Radio 1 and Sirius XM. Ready, panelists? All right. Let's debate. Okay. Forgiveness is largely about the experience of 2 people during the Second World War. It's the past. American War and The Marrow, Thieves are both fiction that imagines a future. Which setting, the past or the future, better help us to understand what is happening in the world right now? I'm going to start with you, Greg, on that.
I don't think there's a right answer to your question, to be honest. I mean, in some scenarios like this dystopian style book that, Marrow, Thieves and American War, it works. Both books work in, that future vision of what things are going to be like or could be like. But also the personal story, the memoir that Mark wrote, also brilliantly written. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to give a message to the world. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong
Well,
way.
Mozhdah, let me reframe that. Is one better than the other? Was one more effective than the other, using the past or using the future to help us see what needs to be changed today, right now?
Well, first of all, I think that, a lot of the themes of the Marrow, Thieves and American War are in the book Forgiveness, because forgiveness is the main thing in the end. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much that's happened. Yeah, I do like the fact that, well, I'm not really into fiction as much as I am into like real stories. So, I have to be honest about that. I do want to hear real, true stories that are not that distracting. But like Greg said, both the past and the future we have to keep in mind, and they're both important. And I can't really pick one or the other. That would be more important.
Tahmoh, I wanted to ask you about this because American War does also dip into the past, talks about the first American Civil War, and the second one is more relevant because of the one in the past. Is there, and this is a dystopian future book, was that an effective tool in getting people to understand today for you? I'll let you explain what you think about that.
You mean specifically with American War? Well, I think it was. Listen, the reason this book resonated so much with North Americans specifically is because he set this in the backyard of America. Mozhdah spoke yesterday specifically about how the brilliant thing that he's done is he switched the roles, right? He's made America is actually what the Middle East, large parts of the Middle East is right now, especially the parts that are struggling and at war. And he's made this bourgeoisie empire, the new empire. It's basically what the United States is today, the stronghold. And by doing that, he's letting you understand how it is in the best interests of controlling ruling empires to keep other nations weak. There's financial interests. If you really get down to it, there's corporate interests. And if this book had been set and those roles were reversed, like we discussed yesterday, and this was set in the Middle East, this wouldn't have resonated as much with North Americans. It just wouldn't have had the success. So the past and the future, yes, and even more so because there's more conflict and division in the United States right now than there has been since the Vietnam War. It's scary times. That's a fact. You've got a president and leaders in the States right now who are, they're not being leaders. They're not creating unity. They're doing quite the opposite. And that's scaring a lot of people right now. There's a lot of division. That's why this resonates, because this is very, very plausible what could happen in here.
Jeanne, would there, in forgiveness, again, it's the past that's being used, it's the past that's highlighted.
But still the present. I mean, when we talk about Mark's own personal journey to forgiveness and how he was raised and now how he looks at his children and how he regards the legacy that his grandparents left him with. So I think it is very much about today, too. What intrigues me about the book, and one of the many reasons that I think it's such an important read for Canadians, is that it tells about a chapter in our history that, again, you're right, like Julie's right, we don't spend enough time talking about, what happened in the past with our with Indigenous people. I mean, and that's something, that is wrong, and we have to start paying more attention. But why were we not taught? I grew up, I went to the best schools in this country. Why was I not taught more about the incredible racism that ran rampant in this country, certainly before the war, not that it's totally subsided yet, about the internment, about the Japanese that were totally uprooted. These were Canadians. These were Japanese Canadians who were not only Canadian citizens, born in Canada, totally uprooted from their homes and sent to live, like slaves, basically working for $1 a day outside of Lethbridge or wherever they went throughout the prairies. It was, just terrible, terrible times. A dark chapter in our history that we still have not come to terms with, that we've not apologized for.
It's not so much the past, because just recently with the previous government, they were trying to create a first-class, second-class citizenship. If you a lot of people don't realize what's happening, but it just happened with the previous government. I was going to become a second-class citizen because I wasn't born here.
It doesn't surprise me.
It was that close, exactly. So it's not so much the past, It's still happening right now.
Julie, can we wrap this up with you? I just, the question was, which setting, the past or the future, helps us better understand what is happening today? And you can, highlight your own book, or you can talk about the other ones on the table.
I think it's important for us to, we won't know where we're going until we take a look at our past, for sure. I think a lot of our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, they were riddled with so much fear, and they just got to the promised land, including my mom, who had me later. She was 81 when she passed away. She didn't want to talk about what happened to her. Oh, no, we're in Canada now. It's the promised land. Like Dorothy, we're in Oz or whatever. So I think it's important to build a bridge. I think that the youth voice is a generation that's empowered, and empowered through social media, especially. Once upon a time, we'd have to tune into the news and wait for the newspaper to be delivered. Now, we're all empowered, but even more so, the youth have such a strong voice. Look at this room full of young people, that are listening to their stories in the home, and I really believe that we're all students and teachers, and we need to listen to the youth voice. It's empowering.
Thank you, Julie. That is it for this round. Okay. I want to talk about the reading experience right now. How important is it for a book to be enjoyable? Mozhdah, let's start with you on that.
Oh, that's a tough one. A book that would be, can you repeat the question just so I make sure that?
The reading experience is what I'm talking about broadly, but how important is it for a book to be enjoyable? Is that a critical part of the reading experience for you?
Until I read these books, I always went for books that I definitely, I chose the ones that I would enjoy reading, not so much the ones that would teach me something about life. Something that, I wouldn't go for the importance of the story, for example. That's why this experience has created a whole new world for me in terms of reading and which direction to take it from now on, because through these books, I could tell you that some of them were the most difficult things to read. And like, it took me 14 days to get through that one, American War.
Yeah.
I was
It's
like,
so
oh
personal
my
to
God,
you.
it's so hard. It's so hard to go through it. And it's just like describing everything that I've been through and everything that all these people in the war zones actually go through. But, like my favorite book out of all of them, I'm not gonna lie, was Greg's, Precious Cargo. I enjoyed it, I loved it, but in the end, I realized that the other books, as difficult as it was to go through it and read it, I was crying at points and I couldn't sleep at night and I was haunted by it, but I've learned so much. I've learned so much more and I've gotten so much out of it. So now I'm looking at it differently.
Well, Greg, let's flip to you. Let's open up a fresh wound. And how important is enjoyment?
And I mean, I totally get the point that Moses is making, but for me, the reading, it is about some enjoyment. And I mean, I said it yesterday when we were talking about American War. I don't have this vision of the world being as terrible a place. And I know you guys challenged me on my statement that, we're living in the best time in human history. And I know you guys said, well, go to Syria, go to Afghanistan right now. Sure. And that's true. And that's true today. But my point is that it's better today than it ever has been. And I look around the room at the kids that are here, and like I don't want. Listen, you guys, don't feel that this world is this horrible, negative place that you're gonna have to like endure for the next 80 years. It's not. It's an amazing place, and it may have its flaws.
Canada is for sure.
Well, yeah, but you know what? It may have its flaws, but it's better than it was.
And if things
We're
get
evolving.
tough, you can visit Uncle Greg in Saskatchewan.
Come
it
and
sounds
visit
like,
me in
right? Come and visit.
Listen, it's not perfect. I get that, and I get that some of these themes are important. I'm not saying they're not important. I'm just saying that everybody's got to lighten up a little bit. You got to smile. Smiling's important.
Let you get in here about the importance of enjoyment when it comes to reading.
It's very important. I think it's like you don't want to eat bland food. You want your food to have some seasoning. Well, I know the Jamaicans do anyway. Reading my book, The Marrow, Thieves, I enjoyed the read, especially because my imagination was sparked. Be it like the elder Minerva, the power she had to save her life. I won't do what's it called again?
Medusa?
No, spoilers.
Oh, you won't do a
I
spoiler.
won't do a spoiler. But like, young love, and for me, again, being in entertainment, and there's one part that I will spoil, that, two of the characters were sharing a hat, and it really resonated with me because nowadays people won't even wear the same thing twice on their Instagram, much less share one hat. Like things we take for granted, in our society. And so it was a great read for me, The Marrow, Thieves, and I think Cherie did an awesome job.
Tahmoh, enjoyment, is it important?
I think if we were to limit and put in if we were to say that when you read a book, you have to enjoy it, you'd be limiting so much art out there and so much information. It is integral that we read things that challenge us, that open our eyes, and a lot of times those things are hard truths and they're hard stories to hear. And the reason we have to do that is so that we don't repeat cycles, because you've experienced this and you spoke on this. I saw it with my own family. You've probably seen it with your family. We spoke differently, but sometimes people try and hide these stories. They don't want to pass this burden on to the future generations. They're doing a disservice, okay? That ignorance gets spread onto the next generation, and there's a potential that they'll make the same mistake. One of the most powerful books I ever read, Shake Hands with the Devil. Who's familiar with it? Sure. Romeo Dallaire. Does anyone know Romeo Dallaire?
Sure.
Probably one of the greatest Canadians. Incredible man. Okay, he was in charge of the Unimar mission.
He was
in Rwanda. Yes, he was the general in charge. Romeo had to witness the greatest genocide in history since the Holocaust in Rwanda. 800,000 people in 100 days. I read this book, and I cannot tell you how much it affected me. Even talking about it makes me emotional. It changed me. I was a young man when I read it. It changed me. It changed my outlook, my perspective on this world. There are very few happy moments in that book. It is not an enjoyable read, but it is so important. I would say that every Canadian in this room should read that book. There are books that are hard to read. There are truths that are hard to hear. If we do not hear them, if we do not read them, if we do not take them in, we are going to repeat the cycle of making the same mistakes again. It's the only way you can heal and move forward.
Jeannie, enjoyment, is it important?
For me, it depends where you are in your life and how much time you have and how many other things you do in your life to build your soul, other than reading. Reading is, important to me. It always has been. I've had a love of reading, but I don't always have that much time to sit down with a book. So when I do, I want to enjoy the ride. I want to enjoy the read. That doesn't mean that I would just want to read about the light stuff and the humorous stuff. And I want to read stories that are going to resonate with me and that are going to help me get to my next level, to get closer in touch with my higher self, to be the best person I can possibly be, because I feel that's the purpose of the exercise. Some things, again, because of what I went through growing up, I do honestly believe that that's a whole other conversation, but Holocaust survivors, the children of Holocaust survivors, live with a kind of post-traumatic stress syndrome. I mean, we've been affected to the core. It's in our DNA because of what happened to our people, and I'm sure many other groups can probably relate to that. So I have to be careful with myself because I don't want to beat myself up any more than I have to be. So, yes, it is absolutely sometimes important to take the medicine and to, to really to see the world through a lens that you would not normally dream of looking through. But that being said, there's only so much of it that I want to take.
Okay, we have to leave it there. That is it for this round. Okay, panelists, we asked past and present CBC voices how the stories in the 3 remaining books fit into today's Canada. So the first voice you'll hear is former CBC Roundup host Tetsuro Shigematsu discussing forgiveness.
Hi, I'm Tetsuro Shigematsu, former host of CBC Radio's The Roundup. I think the most important thing Canadians take away from stories about this is the fact that this isn't history that was long time ago. There are people in your community who experience this within their lifetime. And the reason why a story like this, written by Mark Sakamoto, is so urgent is because we see the same narrative today when people are vilified on the basis of their country of origin, their religion, because when you close your eyes and you think of a Canadian, maybe that's not the first person you think of, but they are Canadians.
My name is Connie Walker, and I'm host of the podcast Missing and Murdered: Finding Cleo. Well, I think that for a long time, the stories from Indigenous communities were missing in the national conversation. And it's really, I think, only been in the last 5 years that there has been this tremendous shift to not only better tell stories and better reflect communities, but to hear directly from the people who are living these experiences.
I'm Susan Ormiston, and I'm a senior correspondent with CBC News. Over the many years, I've reported on so many of the things that American war deals with, displacement of people, natural catastrophes. When I think about people in conflict, I think about how much they're like us. We don't often think of them that way, but they essentially are dreaming of the same things we are, and we have access to it more than they do. You cannot sit in Canada and be unaffected by the number of people who are displaced in the world. And it could happen to us, it could happen to people we know. It's kind of part of our fabric now.
Those voices you heard were, in the order you heard, were former CBC radio host Tetsuro Shigematsu discussing forgiveness, the host of the podcast Missing and Murdered: Finding Cleo, Connie Walker, discussing the Marrow Thieves, and CBC News senior correspondent Susan Ormiston discussing American War. Lending all three of those voices lending more importance and a word that you've used a few times, gravitas, Jeanne, to the books that are on this table. I'm Ali Hassan. This is Canada Reads on CBC Radio 1 and Sirius XM. Okay, panelists. Let's get back to the debate. Of all the characters in the three remaining books, which character did you find most compelling and why? Mozhdah, I'll start with you.
Oh. I think I would probably say, I can't pick two, huh?
You cannot. I think we're putting you on the spot a little bit here.
Oh, I'm thinking between, okay. I will go with Sarat.
Sarat Chaudhry being, Chaudhry, I just said. Sarat Chestnut being the protagonist in American War.
Yeah. You know, my next one would have been from Forgiveness. But the reason that I went with Sarat is because being from a war-torn country myself, I've actually seen people that people from there kind of go through exactly what she went through. So to me, it's not so much a fictional story because the radicalization of Sarat and the process and everything that happened to her, I actually know people who went through this, people who actually get put in those situations. I don't want to spoil anything in the book, so I don't want to say too much, but personal experiences made this character very compelling for me because I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen radicalization happen where I'm from with even a member or two of my own family, which
Greg,
is really scary.
can I ask you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was Mark Sakamoto, the author. The fact is he's a character in the book, and his sort of realization about his grandparents' journey, but then how he used that lesson that they taught him, in dealing with his situation with his mother, who of course died of alcoholism. But that Mark's journey to me was really interesting, and I thought that was maybe the strongest character in all the books that are remaining.
Okay, Jully.
I got me scurrying here. Well, for my own book, hey, I wrote this book. In the Marrow Thieves, I would say, it's kind of duos. Frenchie, but his brother, what's his brother's name again?
His brother who it's a spoiler, but it happens in the first 20 minutes. No, Francis was Frenchie.
Okay.
His brother is...
Isaac?
No. Mitch.
Mitch, my bad.
Right.
So the combo of their relationship, being a twin myself and my brother, I feel like my brother gave his life for me. He only lived like a couple hours, was fully developed, etc. But I don't know, there's this connection with that sibling sacrifice. So and Frenchie for the whole entire book, just from falling. How do you could fall in love in the worst of situations. Just find, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, Anyway, okay, Sarat, for sure, that's my homie. Sarat, as much as she ended up being a terrorist, you realize that the seed of that, the seed of who you are is planted from when you're stitched in your mother's womb. Like that. Sarat was...
It was definitely a very well-developed character.
Right.
Probably the most well-developed character in all the books.
And then Ralphie, I like, I love Ralph. Let's just put hands down.
Ralph is, of course, Mark's grandfather. Jeanne, let me ask you, while we're on that note, you're the most compelling character in the three books that are remaining, and why?
Well, but again, I'm sorry, but I can't compare a fictitious character to a real-life character. I just can't so want me to talk about two cool characters, two great characters that inspired me? Of course, Ralph McLean. I mean, this is, an eyewitness to what happened in this world, who is still very much alive today, as we heard him yesterday, and lived to tell the tale and tell it most brilliantly and unapologetically, and had the openness of heart to embrace his daughter's love. His daughter fell in love with a Japanese guy I mean, after what, you know, the Japanese had done to him in the prisoner of war camp, which is just unthinkable, unconscionable, but he still had the openness of heart to see life in that clear, gorgeous light and realize that, you know, you can't blame and you do have to move on. I think that character just inspired me so much. I also think Surratt, you know, obviously, you know, as dark as she was and as horrible as her life was, there was a lot there that was, you know, that was empowering to read about her. Her story, that thread through the book, was the only thing that I looked forward to each night when I had to, you know, force myself to read the book.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jeannie. That is it for this round. The next round is actually going to pick up on something you just alluded to, Jeannie. American War and the Marrow Thieves are both fiction, and Forgiveness is a memoir. But it can be said, and we've touched on this week, that all these books explore truth in their own way. Which one, fact or fiction, is more effective at highlighting greater truths? Tahmoh, let's start with you.
We're talking about these books specifically. They're all very effective. I mean, you know, this is a powerful, powerful book.
You're pointing to Forgiveness.
To Forgiveness. It's you know, seeing those different perspectives, the Japanese-Canadian perspective, the Scottish-Canadian perspective, Mark's perspective with his alcoholic mother. It's a real account. We can't discount it. We automatically we empathize. We understand it right away. It's impossible not to. You know. That said, some of these books are in a fictional context, and some of them are set somewhat in the future or present day, or they refer back to the past, but they're still quite effective at times in speaking on many current issues.
Okay, Mozhdah, I'm going to ask you the same question.
I always tend to lean towards memoirs and true stories. But for me, these two other books, American War and Marrow Thieves, had the truth in them. So while reading them, I also, you know, I figured out what the Marrow Thieves was about. Basically, the only thing that kept distracting me is the marrow and the dreams, and like I wish it was something a little more real. Like I wish there was a little bit more realness in that story, so that I wouldn't be so distracted with that. But yeah.
Well, Jully, why don't you respond to that? You know, I mean, we've touched on that before. So that was the fiction that you bumped on, Mozhdah, but fact or fiction, which was more effective in your mind?
Well, you know, the whole distraction of the marrow and the liquefying and the extraction, et cetera, I think it's really, I'll say what I said yesterday, like, do we need to know the architecture of the residential schools to know that what happened in there was terrible? You know, I think about there was a Tuskegee experiment back when in America where they were actually they told these group of black men that some had syphilis, some didn't, that they were part of an experiment to test this penicillin and to heal them, and none of them actually got the treatment. Like, this isn't far-fetched. As much as it's written in a fictional way, my goodness, with climate change, with Hurricane Katrina, with this melting, like, it's happening quick. Our world is changing fast.
Okay, we have less than a minute left. Let's get Greg in.
I got to just quickly touch on that. We're talking facts, and as much as climate change is a thing, as much as climate change is important, it's not to the level. We're talking 2074. That's like 50 years from now. Sorry, but we're not going to see Florida disappearing. We're not going to see that level of.
So you're denying the massive climate change?
No, not at all. But I'm just saying it's not. We're not going to see the United States underwater in 50 years from now. And I'm just saying that I think fact-wise, this is more fiction. I think Marrow Thieves, American War, is much more fictional and less factual than what's happening in Marrow Thieves.
That is time. We got to leave it there. It is time. That is it for that round. And yeah. I can't say I believe it either, Jeannie. We are at a speed round, the lightning round. You will each have 30 seconds. One last chance to say something about the book that you're defending before we head into the vote. Tahmoh, let's start with you. 30 seconds.
I'm just confused that we're done.
Are on the clock.
Start me right now. Again, you guys, I'm gonna reiterate what I've been saying the last couple of days, but I'm gonna use a little bit of a different language because I'm hoping that it'll appeal to you two, because you're the two who I need to convince most. And Jully, all three of you, Greg, Jully, Jeannie, this is about truth. I keep saying this, you guys, it's about truth. There is a vicious pattern that happens with many of us, happens with past generations, of hiding the uncomfortable truths in the stories that we feel might burden future generations. We have to not do that anymore. We have to hear the truth.
That is time. Thank you, Tahmoh. Okay. Jeannie, 30 seconds.
This story in Forgiveness is a story that is based on what eyewitnesses to a very dark chapter in our history tell us and can teach us. It's all about expanding your future by forgiving your past. It's about moving forward 1 foot at a time, 1 step at a time. I don't understand how you can heal the world before you can heal yourself. This book, Forgiveness, is about healing.
That is time. Jully, 30 seconds.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah, the Marrow Thieves. It is, speaking of the protagonist, that indigenous protagonist that really is their ancestors' dreams. The youth, the indigenous youth are their ancestors' dreams. And I think if Cherie was here, she would say, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope one day you will join us and the world will be as one.
That is time. All right, Jully, we were wondering if we'd hear you sing. You left it for an important time. Panelists, you don't want to hear this, but day 3 is almost over. We're about to vote because that is it for today's debate.
That's crazy how quick it goes.
I thought it was so long.
I know, I'm confused. What happened?
Okay, the ballots are in front of you. It is time to make a choice. There are 3 books on the table in front of you. Only 2 can move on to the final day of Canada Reads. We'll ask you to open those ballots up, mark an X beside one of the 3 books that you want to eliminate. Michelle from the Canada Reads team will collect your ballots. Which title will go today? Will it be the novel American War by Omar Akkad? Tahmoh Penikett would not like that. Will it be the memoir Forgiveness by Mark Sakamoto? Jeannie Beker hopes not. Or will we say goodbye to the YA novel The Marrow Thieves by Cherie Dimaline? Not if Jully Black has anything to say about it.
No.
2 books have already been eliminated. The Boat People by Sharon Bala. Mozhdah Jamalzadah was defending that novel. It was eliminated on day 1. And Precious Cargo by Craig Davidson. Greg Johnson was championing that memoir, but it was eliminated yesterday. All right. Well, while we wait for the ballots to be calculated, let's talk about something positive. Bring you guys a little bit out of your doom and gloom. But
that was literally confusing.
The speed with which we move
When you said the
at.
first round was down, I was like, oh,
It was
we're
not
going
enough.
to second round. And then,
But the tone and energy of today's talk compared to yesterday's, we're into a totally different channel.
But it doesn't matter if we're speeding through or we're crying or we're yelling or what it is. It just always goes fast. You know?
There was a lot more arguing yesterday.
Let the
know.
audience say what.
The books, I do want to say actually hello to some of the groups that tune in, who are listening to us right now. In Alberta, the Olds Municipal Library has a Canada Reads group that meets and watches and listens. Langley, BC, the City of Langley Library, you are listening to us right now. Renfrew Public Library in Renfrew, Ontario. You guys have live listening parties throughout the week. T-Dot Book Club. Hey, I thought I would say T-Dot and hear a hey, and I did. The Annapolis Valley Regional Library. in Harbsport, Nova Scotia. And not Harbsport, I have to remove my glasses to read Hensport, Nova Scotia. They have live listening parties as well, just to give you a feeling of across this country how many people listen to this. I have the ballots in hand now. All right. Jully Black.
Oh, wow. You start with me?
It took you the longest to vote. I'm going to ask you what you did in the end. Yes.
It did. Lord have mercy. Really? Me first? Okay.
It has to be.
Okay. I voted for American War.
And by 4, again, she does mean against. So that is one vote against American War.
Only because it's American story. That's that.
Tahmoh Penikett, how did you vote?
Bone Marrow Thieves.
The Marrow Thieves. One vote against American War, and 1 vote against the Marrow Thieves. Greg Johnson, how did you vote?
I voted against American War as well.
That is 2 votes against American War, 1 vote against the Marrow Thieves. Jeanne Beker, how did you vote?
I voted against Marrow Thieves.
2 votes against the Marrow Thieves, 2 votes against American War. We have ourselves another tie. All right. I mean, here's what can happen. This is in your hands, Mozhdah. If you vote
Why'd you leave me for last?
Yeah, I know. Well, these things happen.
Yeah, welcome to my nightmare.
This was Jeanne yesterday. If you vote for American War, it will be off the table. If you vote for the Marrow Thieves, it will be off the table. But if you vote for forgiveness, we will have a tie to contend with. How did you vote?
I think this story is so important. Everyone should know about it. It's just how well I connected with it. And I couldn't. And I'm so sorry, Jully. I love you. I'm so sorry, but I voted for Marrow Thieves.
The Marrow Thieves has been eliminated. Never a dull moment in this show. I have to say, even I am shocked by that. Jully Black, I know the passion with which you are championing this book. Mm-hmm. Is this a good time to ask you how you're feeling right now?
Oh, it's always a good time to ask, yeah.
Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I think that this is the most that this conversation has even happened about Indigenous stories. Cherie is a shero, and I salute her for amplifying this subject. This is a game. There's a lot of gameplay happening, but ultimately all 5 books are victorious, and I'm happy that that so many youth are here and that the Marrow Thieves got a chance to shine. Ultimately, but yeah, real recognize real.
15 seconds left. So any message for Cherie Dimaline, who you've also championed? So
oh my gosh, Cherie, girl, you changing the game already. Canada, America, the globe, heaven, hell, everybody talking about the Marrow Thieves. Okay, so we got this, we fabulous. Canada reads, this is still the one book to open Canada's eyes. Regardless, the Marrow Thieves.
Guys, that is it for Canada Reads today. The final 2 books are American War and Forgiveness. We're 1 vote away from choosing the winner of Canada Reads 2018. Thank you to your panelists, Tahmoh Penikett, Mozhdah Jamalzadah, Jeanne Beker, Greg Johnson, and Jully Black. They will all be back tomorrow to make one last decision. I'm your host, Ali Hassan. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again. Read on, Canada. Canada Reads will continue right after this break. More debates coming up next. Canada Reads will return. Stay tuned. When we come back, one book will be eliminated. Don't go away. Hey, we're going to stop right there. More coming up after the break. Coming up next, which book will be voted off? Stay tuned. CBC's Battle of the Books continues after this break. You guys did great. That was very good. Yeah, yeah. That's it. Believe it or not.
I was setting you up.
I know. Just straightened, I guess. I can move the mug. I'm able to move my own mug. I'm not at that level.
You're not at that
Shoot, how come I can't? Sorry, straight. And the line is the Marrow Thieves has been eliminated, yes?
Has been promoted.
Yeah.
Book's doing great, though, eh?
Yeah, it is. It's buzzing.
How are they getting it on? Are they getting it on the curriculum for high schools?
Hopefully.
They should.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hopefully.
I can't imagine that it would rap on it.
If this was an iPad, my biceps would be burning at this point. This is.
Nearly as much on the table as you guys, but what can you give us to take away? What can you advise future panelists? How to deal with this week, how to get through this, and then how to encourage others to become also invested?
It's one day premature, that question, but yes, what you've learned so far.
Well, I mean, the most wonderful thing about this experience, besides getting to hang out with these brilliant people, is realizing that you've got a platform here to really change hearts and minds, or at least to open a window onto new possibilities for people. And it's so funny because, every minute I'm here, and it's probably wrong because I know in terms of the way this show is constructed, I am supposed to be trying to convince my other panelists to vote a certain way or to consider my book. And I'm not talking to them at all in a funny kind of way. I feel like I'm talking to the nation. I'm talking to, well, certainly the studio audience and way, way beyond. I'm talking to people coast to coast because I know that they can hear my voice and trying to convince them, not that they're going to reward me with a yay or nay vote, but that's why the voting is sort of, a bit questionable. Like, why even bother voting on these brilliant works?
Can I hit that too?
Sure.
So my advice for future panelists would be hang up the phone. Like, don't take the call. No one needs this stress in their life. I mean, I was thrilled to show off this book, but man, last night was tough, right?
No, it wasn't.
Not for you last night. The
night before. Listen.
Yeah.
All 5 of these books got on here on this like amazing show. At one point or another, one of them's gonna leave, right? And there's gonna be one left. So
come on, Greg, you have a romance with the author.
I'm making fun of the control room.
That's
right
it.
now.
I mean, it's already a winner. It's on the show.
Yeah.
What's that? Greg's being sent home later this evening? Okay, good.
Jeannie said it so well. This is. I agree with everything she said. It's a real opportunity to come on this show, and it's a big responsibility. And we all believed in our books, and that's what we've been asked to do. So, and it's a bit, you can't help but get passionately involved and invested in these books and them winning. And that's what makes it exciting, but it makes it exhausting too. It's a task. It's hard to critique other books when you see such wonderful things in them, when each of them has a good message. But Jully said this, and she's been saying this since the jump, and you just reiterated it, and I think that's the most important point. The fact that these 5 books have made it here speaks volumes, because there was many books considered.
Yes.
And also excellent books in their own right. But all 5 of these are made, so they're all winners. People are going to read these books.
Right.
Ultimately, there's going to be one that we focus on. But every one of these, without a doubt, is touching that huge audience
Did you
out
see
there.
what he did there? Speak volumes. I get it.
Okay.
That was funny. I get it.
You got it?
I don't know if he
Funny
knows what
guy.
he did.
I didn't even know, but thank you.
Okay, another audience question in the back.
Hi. So this question is for everyone. I'm curious to know, I think all the books were fantastic and important, but I was very encouraged by having an Indigenous voice, an Indigenous narrative as part of the show. And so I wanted to ask, how do we move forward to kind of elevate and amplify the Indigenous, imagination, the Indigenous narratives of writers and young people who want to share that with all of us in our public broadcaster, in our public education system, and also, what are we doing to kind of add more encouragement for the contributions that young writers of Indigenous Canada can share with all of us?
He had a few points, especially in the educational system. I mean, CBC did an awesome job in having this platform beyond all the mediums. Knowing that we're on TV, pod, web, all that, it's amazing. It needs to get into the schools, for sure. And not to mention, when, for instance, like, Cherie, she's doing keynote speeches, she's at conventions, she's traveling the world. Like, go online, let's find out where these authors are, where, different lobbyists, what events are happening, where we could attend and feel the energy of the room. Like to have these conversations. This is a dialogue that I've never had in my entire life. And so it's amazing now to have this. This isn't just I did this gig, holla, and that's that. No, this is cemented in Canadian history. And so now it's really, even though this book had a lot of running, we're not running from, we're running towards. Like, how are we moving forward, as a nation, right? Yeah.
Are you a teacher, my friend? The one who asked the question? Okay. Yeah, I would like to commend the CBC in particular. If you've looked at them over the last 5 years, for a number of years now, they've been focusing on Indigenous programming, music, arts. There's it's really visible and apparent, and I think that's incredible. And and here's a stab at that last government. The last government was trying very effectively to get rid of the CBC. It would have been a very strange time in Canada if that actually happened. There's change happening right now. We're not going to regress. It's going forward. These stories are coming out. It is a very important time. You as an adult, you as an individual, each one of us has an opportunity to teach our kids about what transpired. My mother went to residential school. These stories are coming out. The Trudeau government although I've got some issues with them, I think they are doing incredible work right now that is long overdue. And specifically, if you want to get really informed, teach your kids, find out about the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the TRC report, the 94 calls of action. That's really incredible. These are 94 calls of action that we as Canadians can do, the government can do, everyone can do to move forward. This is about healing. This is about hearing the truth and moving forward and being educated. I have every belief in this nation and the future of it. And we can be the model for all nations. But there's so much work to be done. And the only way it's going to be done is if we hear the truth. We got to hear it. You can't sweep it under the rug anymore, man. It doesn't make it okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go to an online question, a little bit lighthearted. Not that we needed lighthearted after that. We could sit in that moment as well, but just turns out that's what we've got. Paige Brandon from Twitter asks, in the spirit of the themes of the Marrow Thieves, what have all the panelists been dreaming about this week?
Good one.
Sleepless night, so not much dreaming.
I had a dream that the hairdresser here, and there's some great hairdressers here, but did my hair like the biggest hairdo ever, and I had to go on the show looking like that, and they kept trying to placate me by saying, but the 80s are back, the 80s are back. So I mean, that's the kind of nightmare I had. I think it probably had to do with I stupidly, for me, watched the show yesterday at 4 o'clock, and sometimes it's just better to let things ride, and because this show is so raw and so intense, and we're really like talking to each other so up close and personal, and I'm thinking of it maybe more as a radio show than a TV show, and I'm usually for TV very conscious of the kind of faces I'm putting out there, and then all of a sudden I saw myself in a very kind of raw way, shall we say, that flipped me out. So of course I had a nightmare about big hair.
Yeah.
Bad big hair.
Anybody else?
I had a dream I was eating Mexican food with my mom.
That's just
That's good.
your mom has passed away. Before you said your mom, I was like, that's just a nice Tuesday afternoon.
It was a visitation,
That's great.
It's cool.
So I spent the whole night at this table.
Yeah?
It was exhausting.
Did you
It
really?
just wouldn't.
Were we here too,
I
or were you
couldn't
alone?
leave. Huh?
Were we also here?
No, you guys were all here, and
Oh,
you
it was
were
an
hating
overnight.
on me for voting you off. And it was just, it was like crazy. And I'm like, I'm trying to leave, and I can't. And I just keep seeing this Canada Read sign and all of you, and I'm like, get me out of here. And
It's like a union meeting from the 80s, just coffee and cigarettes.
Like
we
all
don't get
night.
out of this meeting till we solve
You
this.
guys can take this one any way you want, but I was fending off of a pack of coyotes for a large part of my dream last night. I really was. And I was like, I needed to get to my son, and he was home, like at a cabin of mine, which was it was far away. And I was a little off track, and these coyotes were all over me, man.
Oh.
But I was gonna make it there. I was determined. I was like, I'm gonna make it home, and I'm gonna get to my son because he needs me. And these damn coyotes.
And the Coyotes had CBC shirts when they came close, and you're like, these guys are all right.
I know, right?
I had a dream about you.
I love how look at
And
this.
by the way, I'm looking at Ali right now.
Yeah. Let's go. What was it about? What are we talking about?
We were comparing how cool our glasses were.
Is that what it
Let's
was?
trade them
I'm
up.
wearing another pair today, but I don't know if you're going to find them as cool.
What's up with the prescription?
Right on. Oh, you look good in those.
Do I?
Yeah.
You're in trouble. Hey, man, you look great also.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can't see anything right now, but I think you look great.
I can't see anything either, Ali.
All right. Audience question next, Dave. Thank you.
My question is for Tahmoh. My name is Maria, and you were mentioning Romeo Dallaire's book, Shake Hands with the Devil.
Yeah.
Gutting, haunting.
Gutting,
I think
haunting,
everyone
yes.
should read it. Inconvenient Indian. Everyone should read it. When does your mother's book come out? You mentioned that yesterday, and I thought, another one to add to the list that I have a feeling we should all be reading.
You know what? I'm so excited, and I'm so proud of my mother because, you guys, I touched on this before. How and I hope she's okay with this. But oftentimes people who suffer traumatic experiences, they don't want to revisit it. They don't want to talk about it. And everyone's got to take healing in a different way. But my mother has found over the years that she's got so many stories in her. She has so many stories in her to tell, and she's now starting to write, and she has been for the last couple of years. And I remember when she told me, she was like, we were having a random conversation once, and I was talking about how I'm always constantly frustrated because I've got a lot of stories to tell too, but I'm not a writer. My father's an accomplished writer. The latest book just came out, you know, his 5th book. He's a politician. He does so many different things, but I'm not my dad. We're very different. But my mother and I were talking. I was like, Mom, I can never get the script out. I've got the ideas, but I can't finish it. She's like, well, you need to do it. You got to see it through. It's in you. And I'm like, you should be writing. Why aren't you writing? She goes, you know, I've thought about it, and I'm good. And anyway, from that moment, not to say that I was the reason she decided to, but it wasn't soon after this. She was like, you know, I've taken a short story writing course, and I'm doing this, and now she's writing. And man, the short story that I alluded to yesterday it's powerful, man. It makes me emotional even thinking about it, because I think about my little mom. You know, she's 6 years old, and I'm thinking about what she went through, and you guys are gonna read it. You guys are gonna read it. And maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but one of the producers at the CBC, after they heard me say this yesterday, was like, we would love to help facilitate that. That said, she's been approached by producers, numerous ones, who she sent it to, and they've all been across the board. We want this story. We want more of your stories. Please give it to us.
Nice. Wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
One more audience question we have time for.
Out of all the books, the 5 books, which would you recommend for young readers?
Marrow Thieves.
Marrow Thieves is a YA book. It's a young adult book.
Right off the bat.
Written in the spirit of you know, wanting the young, you know, young people, Indigenous especially, but young people in general, to read. So
I'm going to say, though, you
Precious
got to read
Cargo.
Precious
Precious
Cargo
Cargo.
too.
Yeah,
The big
definitely.
theme in Precious Cargo is about, you know, the bullying, right? I shouldn't say it's the big thing. It's one of the themes in here, and there's obviously been a lot of talk in our society about bullying and how we treat each other, but there's still kids that are taking their own lives. There's still that epidemic, and up north, right? I mean, like, a lot of these themes in these books overlap each other.
Yeah, they do.
Right? They really do.
Oh, for sure.
And Precious Cargo and Marrow Thieves have a lot of similar themes in that respect. So I would say, you know what? There's some heady stuff here, but still worth a read, all of them. I don't care what age you are.
We're going to check back with you on Saturday, so get reading quickly, all right? There's no time to waste. A lot of books to be read. That is it for our, that's it. That's all the time we have. I have a Kobo giveaway. This is, Chloe, I mean, do you even walk towards me? I mean, this is going to Paige Brandon from Twitter. Yeah, you didn't know that, Chloe? Yeah, this is, but it's Twitter. So I assume that these guys found out that Paige Brandon lives locally, because Twitter, we will send it to her. Okay, great. Let's clap for Paige Brandon, who is watching right now, who just won one of these. Great. Was this better than an afternoon in school? Or, yeah? Okay, good. I mean, you have to say that. We're staring right at you. You don't really have much of a choice. But thank you very much for coming. I hope this has a positive impact on you guys going forward. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right.
Have a great afternoon.
Good show.